graphic design is my job. I've been always wondering, do those websites for graphic services work? And the question is, can you actually make money out of them? So I made my research and I found, I guess, two types of those websites. The first kind is those who sell freelancers as a service. And you, as a buyer, prepay a month plan in order to have an always-on designer. It's like hiring someone without actually have to hire someone. It turned out that I had in mind only the second kind of website, where you sign up to, list your capabilities, and start working with your clients at your own prices. Basically, the website links to your potential clients. After my research, I ended up with three websites I wanted to try. Of course, the first one is Fiverr, then Upwork, and then Insolvo. I also found Penji and Design Pickle, which seemed to be very good websites, but those were the first kind, and I was basically not interested in applying for a full-time job. I actually went through the hiring page of Penji. Is it Penji? Penji? Why should it be Penji? How am I supposed to know? Let's call it Penji. I looked at the open positions and spotted their graphic design ad, which seemed pretty close to what I wanted to do if I was actually looking for a job, but with some strange specs. For example, it was required to manage 8 to 10 projects per day, which is something really unusual. You mean projects worth 1 hour each for 8 hours a day? And of course you have your own laptop and also your own licenses for the applications you use to do your job. And one last very strange thing was you must have a dedicated and quiet room to work in. You mean I must live in the countryside? In Milan you have to be really rich to have a spare quiet room where you can work in. Everybody works on the kitchen table. The second one we are not talking about is Design Crowd, which seemed to be very big, I actually don't know, but looked very cheap and I didn't like their showcase at all. So let's start with Fiverr. First thing, I struggled to find where I should click to apply as a creator, which is not Fiverr business. I still don't know what's about that and I don't care. Then I finally found Become a Seller, and I swear I had no idea they were called sellers. Are things harder for me than for others? Do I want to answer that question? No. So, after clicking on Becoming a Seller, they tried to make me think it was easy, like in these 3 passages, and they succeeded. I thought it was easy. No spoiler. Apart from that, I have to say the website is so good. It's so well done. I actually had lower expectations. I was driven through the creation of my profile in such a simple way, very well structured and guided. Mwah. Then you write, you fill in everything, you state where you studied, what you can do. Then it asked me to connect to all my social media, which I didn't want to do because this is an experiment and I didn't want everybody to think I was going nuts. And here we are, the gigs, which is basically a copyrighted way to say things you can do. And here, exactly here, I realized that it was longer than expected. I made an entire detailed profile, but I didn't even have any gig yet. And then the first gig that comes in my mind, presentations. I don't know why, maybe I just made some of those and I thought of it, I don't know. Maybe I wanted to do something easy because something like logo design needs days of work and also a lot of fine-tuning with the client. So here I am, writing a catchy title for a presentation gig and then going on and on, filling in stuff the website was asking me. And then something I was not thinking about. Prices. I swear I was already exhausted at this point. Can't they just think, oh my god, you must be so good, you look so good in doing your job. Here's some clients, go have fun with them. No, they don't do that. Well, what can I say? The options were a lot and very detailed. But I managed to make it a good price list, I guess, and with good options. I have to admit, the credit goes to the website again. It was amazingly designed and follows you through all the process in a very good way. Then I decided to make the second gig, which was photo editing, something extremely easy for me to do. And also I thought it could be much cheaper work, so maybe an easiest way to get new clients. This is still me struggling to fill in a creative way all the parts of the gig. This website really asks for a lot. And then after that I realized that I needed a good preview for my presentation gig, so I decided to create a few slides and then use them. Is this the best preview I could make? No. Are those the most professionals? No. Am I going to remake them because I don't like them? No. So here it is, my beautiful, cute, amazing, convincing, professional and perfect profile. After that I proceeded to Upwork. In my opinion, is as well done as Fiverr, but gives you the impression to create a profile with much less effort. Also gives you the possibility to look for job ads instead of waiting for people to see you and write you. And you can choose this method at the very beginning, which I felt it was very convenient. This is a time-lapse of me redoing everything I did on Fiverr and landing on my brand new shining profile. Now I can apply for a job. And once again, reality slapped me on the face. It took me just one ad, the first one. There was this user from the UK asking for a letterhead design on a Saturday delivered on the same day that started with "has to be done today" and offered $10. I mean $10. Let me explain you the process of working. In those $10 on which I have to pay taxes was included. Write to them, listen to the brief, understand if it's something that must be made from scratch or if they already have some brand image to follow. Then do the job, possibly in 10 minutes, then review the job with the client and maybe listen to feedbacks and changes. This means spending half of your Saturday for $10 working for an obvious stressed woman across the ocean. Okay, it's not across the ocean for me, but sounded good. That and a couple of more ads like that made me realize this website is cheap. So cheap. And they are cheap because it's a global market for everyone doing the same job and wins who can make the lowest price. Of course, it's always like that. It's a rule of the market. But when you fight for price in the same city, in the same country, in the same economy, results are much different compared to a global system. I challenge that user to get the job done in the UK on a Saturday for $10. Maybe if you are very young and if you live in a country with a very low cost of life, maybe you can find your way. And with a very low cost of living, I mean everywhere in the world where there is no city. I live in Milan and it's enough to move 50 miles away from Milano and the cost of living is the half. Literally the cost of a house, the rent, the food, everything. And also if you start young and work alone for this website, there will be no one to teach you the job. No art director, no creative director to show you what's best for the job. So the service will end up being simply worse. Are those websites for young people living in a very low cost of living places all around the world? I have no answer to that. Oh, before proceeding to the next website, one last thing about Upwork. You basically have to bid to get a job with credits. And guess how you get credits? You buy them, of course! So you basically pay to get the job. No, not even that. What you buy with your credits is actually being the first on the list that the client will see. I mean, you only get the first place in line to be seen by a client. My enthusiasm left the room. But let's talk about the last website, which I don't want to say anything. Let's just get into it. Insolvo. First thing, the layout and the brand image are much cheaper. It's that kind of ugly, like design made for professional by boomers. That kind of aesthetic. Anyway, as you can see, it's much easier applying for a freelancer because there is a button right there in the homepage. I scrolled to see if something was strange, and it was 250,000 freelancers, but less than 2,000 tasks. This means there is already 50,000 freelancers jobless. I logged in with Google, so no profile needed to be filled in, which is new, but there was a compulsory test to do as first thing. No way you can skip it. And guys, fasten your seatbelts, because we are about to take off. The test is 3 questions. One was to proofread the text and check for spelling mistakes, then some link to copy and add the date. And then you had to answer to this. What was the opening price of Dow Jones Industrial Average on November 10th, 2017? What the actual... Okay, let's break it down, because in some way I even get the point. They simply wanted to put a filter to the people that wanted to apply to the job. And the filter is kind of a mix of skills like being smart, problem solving, spot English mistakes, so speak and write good English. Those kind of filters are actually a good idea, but that filter in entrance kind of straightened my idea that the freelancers in these websites are all around the world with very different kinds of educations and coming from all kinds of economies. Anyway, I could correct the text, okay, not at the first try, and also understand the task to copy a link and add a date, okay? But where the are you going to look for such a data? I mean, a specific day of Dow Jones, I don't know where to start. And then the journey began. First thing, I just copied the question on Google. Here it is. The average price in the whole 2017? Worth a shot, right? Wrong. And the feedback of the website is just... I can't. We are sure that these tests are perfectly accurate. Thousands of freelancers have successfully passed them. Perhaps there is an extra space or a typo in one of your replies. Please, try again. No, the problem is not a typo, you son of a bitch. The problem is that I have no clue where to fetch the data. Then, an epiphany. Everybody is talking about that, the solution of all the problems of the world ahead, the only way our society can evolve, the machine that can do whatever you want in your life and that is able to fulfill all your dreams. Yes, ChatGPT. I went all the way and passed the question directly to God. And the answer was, I'm sorry, I can't, don't hate me. Okay, no, but almost. His data just goes up to 2021. You mean yesterday? What? Then another brilliant thought. Let's ask where I should find the info, right? I felt so smart right there. He listed like 10 places and I opted for the official one, the Dow Jones website. Went to the website, but I don't think it was the right one, so I asked for it to ChatGPT and he said that's the website, and it didn't work. It was offline. Do the guys at Dow Jones know that their website is offline? Is it important in any way? Will it cause the next economical crisis of the world? Did I discover it for Insolvo? Then, after complaining to a machine, as it was certainly something important in my life, I asked for a new link and he gave me a new one. Still not working. Then I went back to the old-fashioned approach, which was Google something smart, you dumbass. And the research this time was Dow Jones history data. And there it is. The first link. With a fantastic chart and the time spent to choose in order to check the prices. So let's go to the 2017, November 10th. Copy the wrong number, then realize it and copy the right one, and boom! After a year and a half, I was in. Okay, let's talk about this method. This is brilliant. It was fun to make, very clever. I don't know why I liked it so much. And also while doing it, you actually already demonstrate your dedication to it. You already showed it. And once again, the enthusiasm left my heart. You must subscribe. You must pay for work. People are really bad. I mean, you make a website to link sellers and buyers for a service, and that service is actually jobs people do. I mean, jobs that people studied for and took degrees for. I am perfectly fine for you to get a rate out of my job, because it's like paying an account that found me a client that I could never reach without you. That's okay, and I understand that. But if you, website owner, make people pay in advance, you are not an entrepreneur. No one has received any money, no one has even started working, but you cash out. While being outraged by this system, I noticed the kind of tasks that were asked. Design a garage for 150 bucks, data entry for a large Excel with information to research on the internet for 60 bucks, email marketing for 30? That website is cheap. Okay guys, what did I learn? That I can stop wondering what it's like to work online. Oh, by the way, I never had a job from Fiverr. Those websites are not happy places. They are designed and advertised as great places where you can express yourself, value your work and fulfill your talent, and also gain money, but that's not. It's just very good marketing and web design, and also very good management, and beyond the surface, it's just the same market I'm used to. A lot of bad tasks, working way more than you are willing to, with the same goal of reach a decent pay, but with the cons of clients all over the world and global competition. Will I keep my profiles open? Absolutely not. So that's it guys, please subscribe to my channel, who knows where this is gonna take you. Hit like if you liked the video, or dislike if you didn't. This is Andrea and I want it all. See you soon.